Hey and welcome. Hello, hello. Good evening to all of you. Welcome to Wahida Wednesdays. I'm just checking to make sure we are live in the Lotus group. How are y'all doing out there? All right, Lotus looks good. Say hello when you come in. Tonight we're going to be talking about the throat chakra. I really enjoy this chakra, actually, very much. All right, it doesn't look like we're going to get up on this one. Maybe here. Here we go. All right, perfect. Hey Archana, how are you? I'm doing good, you know. It's been a day, but we made it. We're out here. Thanks for joining in. So let's get started with our energetic talk. I know our level 1 players are out there. Hey Lisa, level 1. So our psychic mediumship, or excuse me, psychic development 1 class is going on tonight at 6 o'clock. So I hope they're having a great time over there learning all the basics with Uma. That was one of my favorite classes when I started this. So now I'm going to be here talking about the throat chakra with you. The throat chakra is also called Vishuddha, and it stands for purification, which we're going to get into a little bit of once we start talking about how it works, how it balances, how to use it, when it's deficient, things like that. The throat chakra is actually considered the gateway to your upper chakras. So last week we talked about the heart chakra being the point where both chakras can kind of balance and meet in between, right? So your throat chakra is now your gateway to your higher self, to communicating with the guides that we have, our loved ones, and really figuring out your path and how to communicate about that. The throat chakra, if it's like having any issues, you may have some thyroid problems going on physically. So one thing to know about our chakras is exactly where they're located. If they are not in alignment, hey Nikki, you're gonna have some things that start coming up physically that are wrong. Or not wrong, but some ailments, physical ailments, right, that you're going through. And for the throat chakra, having a overactive or underactive thyroid is one of those things. So being, really cognizant of, sore throats even, and, paying attention to how the energy and the physical feel of your throat is doing is a really good indication of if you have an off balance on your throat chakra. And, I just remembered, as we go through all of our spiritual development classes, I remember even after my Reiki 1 class years ago, she was like, my teacher at that time was like, you might feel sick this week. You might have a sore throat that could last anywhere up to a month. And of course, now I'm aware that having a sore throat is really just my balance happening and our way of almost like decompressing and getting out all of that negative stuff and letting our body really sit with the new energy or new attunements with Reiki. But I feel like every time we go through those like up levels and new classes and new things, we kind of get like this tickle in our throat or a sore throat coming on because we're growing into that new part of us, that new, you've had an underactive thyroid for the past 30 years. Wow. I might have to figure out, well, of course, nothing trumps a medical doctor here, but I do have some notes also about the underactive thyroid, so we'll get there. So, the throat chakra, or Vishuddha, lifts you out of the physical world and into the spiritual world. Hey guys! And it invites you really to express yourself in the purest way possible. So remember, I said that the meaning of Vishuddha is purification. And I feel like that's really important in when you learn to balance your throat chakra, because it governs your ability, yes, to speak clearly and to communicate with others. And even as a spiritual teacher or someone who is working with others to help them grow spiritually, we have really high developed throat chakras, because when we're in alignment with our truth, we learn how to develop your throat chakra and balance your imbalances, and we feel really strong that we can channel through the truths of the world, right? So as a spiritual teacher, or I don't even know that I would call myself that yet, but as someone who is on the spiritual path and trying to help others, maybe coach, we'll start with coach, I feel like I live my life in an honest way. And that's one of the big things with the throat chakra is not lying, not being deceitful, clearly expressing yourself, but in a very truthful manner. So when you're connecting to your spirit, you're purifying yourself and you're expressing yourself authentically. You kind of feel like you don't have to put up that facade anymore, right? Of course, we want to protect ourselves and have our boundaries. So if someone is saying that we need to do this or do that, and sorry, I have an appointment, I can't make it. Oh my gosh, it's really sad. I've got to be somewhere at that time. My bad. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. When it comes to like lying for your own, white lies, I feel like are safe in this area. But when it comes to actually genuinely living your authentic truth and doing your work that makes you happy, it really, really shows and helps with a balanced throat chakra. Like you doing that action actually helps you to be balanced with your throat chakra. So some of the things that are associated with the throat chakra is the element of air, obviously, because we're breathing in and out. The bright blue and turquoise colors, lapis lazuli, aquamarine, and blue lace agate. Some of the zodiac signs are Aquarius and Sag, who may have a harder time, or maybe not such a harder time, considering those signs with their throat chakras. And the planet Mercury, which, a lot of times they say when Mercury is in retrograde, you have communication issues, so that makes total sense with the throat chakra. Some of the mantra, or the mantra, that you can say, okay, I'll see you later. Yes, when you have a voice, but you sit back and wait. Oh, yeah. Some of the mantras that you can use in order to balance your throat chakra is hum. So that's like using all of those good spaces, right? Hum. And really getting in like the movement in your throat chakra there. One of the things to take into consideration when you're working with vibration and with sound, that's directly related to the throat chakra. So things like singing bowls, Tibetan sounds, solfeggio healing sounds. I live off of solfeggio healing sounds. And you can find a sound associated with each chakra that you have. But once you start getting into the higher chakras, sound is really what can help you to regain control and regain balance of that overactive or underactive chakra. So, signs of an overactive chakra. You're really, really, really talkative. This is probably like us when we were 13, or maybe now, today, no judgment, But you feel like you have to just say so many things instead of just kind of, exactly like we were saying, just kind of sit back and wait for other people to talk about it. They do that alone in Buddhism a lot. Oh, a lot in Buddhism. Yes, they do. You feel like you have to push your beliefs onto others. Like they have to think what we think with spirituality, or they have to think, that we exist and Marvel is totally right and we exist on like so many other planets right now. Or solar systems or whatever Doctor Strange just talked about in his movie. You're not a good listener because you're too busy talking. You may have an overactive thyroid, so there's that physical imbalance there. Some tips for balancing an overactive thyroid, or excuse me, throat chakra, is drinking a cup of chamomile tea. Kind of like, zen yourself out and calm down a little bit. Meditate with a piece of blue lace agate, which I don't have around me. Perform a grounding exercise like going for a walk in the trees or a walk in nature to kind of reconnect yourself back to this planet. Signs of a underactive throat chakra is having difficulty speaking honestly, right? So we talked about how purification is what the throat chakra is all about, and living that really honest lifestyle where you're doing what it is that you are here to do, and you enjoy that, right? So you're not putting up that front. Some of the things that for an underactive throat chakra is you have difficulty speaking honestly. You're unable to express your desires. So you can't even say, maybe this is what it is that I want, and this is who I want to be or what I want to do. You struggle with social anxiety, and not in a way that's, we are introverted peeps on this channel here. And this is more like you can't even go out in public. Like, you are just overthinking it so much. You really don't want to be around other people. That's going to be a sign of an underactive throat chakra. Having a fear of public speaking. I mean, that's pretty intimidating, to be honest, even though I'm on here chatting it up with you guys. But having a fear of doing it and not even wanting to try it or giving it a shot is more of an underactive. Not being able to stand up for yourself and having an underactive thyroid. So those things kind of all lined up together, especially not being able to stand up for yourself, because then you're not living your truth. You're not living your honest self if you're doing that, right? And how to kind of know the signs of a balanced chakra, throat chakra, is you're speaking truthfully and honestly. You're working in a field that's in alignment with your beliefs. You're able to disagree with others in a loving way. You have the desire to listen to others. I don't know about that one. I'm a Virgo, so sometimes I really just don't want to hear other people's stuff, but that could just be momentarily. I express myself with ease and enjoy doing so. I like that one a lot. And you feel energized when you share your gifts with others, right? Like, doing this talk energizes me. I'm usually wired for hours after, actually, and do a lot of other work that I need to for my business. So those are how you can tell if you're kind of in alignment and moving in the right direction. So some sound healing techniques that we were talking about are singing bowls. I love singing bowls. I go to yoga on a monthly basis where we have singing